Welcome to Whispers of Infidelity, a place where mysterious love stories and tales of desire unfold. Wishing you a joyful and energetic day. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next story. Maya, 22 years old, is a passionate graphic design student who moved in with her uncle, Daniel, after her parents' divorce and her mother's extended work trip. Maya's life had been tumultuous, but she found temporary stability at Daniel's home. A serene retreat nestled in the lush countryside, far from the city's hustle. The rustic wooden house, adorned with vibrant flower beds by the porch, offered a sense of tranquility. Yet it also concealed unexpected stirrings within Maya's heart. Daniel, Maya's uncle, was not just a relative but a mentor, always dedicated and attentive. At 40, he boasted a toned, muscular physique, honed by outdoor work and diligent exercise. Whenever Maya caught sight of Daniel tending the garden or fixing things around the house, she couldn't help but admire his robust frame. From the defined lines of his muscles to the sunlight glinting off his tanned skin, those moments sent a subtle thrill through her, though she tried to dismiss the strange feelings. Daniel was married to Sophia, a gentle but somewhat distant woman, who shared the cozy home with him. Sophia was often preoccupied with work in a nearby town, leaving Maya and Daniel with ample time together. Initially, Maya viewed Daniel solely as a respected uncle, but their growing closeness sparked emotions she struggled to comprehend. This proximity drew her into a whirlwind of conflicting thoughts, torn between familial affection and something deeper, more unspoken, pulling her toward a forbidden edge. Maya began to sense an unusual connection with her uncle, Daniel, that transcended familial boundaries. Intimate gestures, like Daniel's hand brushing her shoulder while fixing things in the garden, or his deep, lingering gazes during quiet dinners, made Maya's heart race inexplicably. She tried to dismiss it as mere unclely care, but each look from Daniel carried a warmth she couldn't ignore. The emotional tension escalated, especially when they were alone in the tranquil countryside home. Maya often stole glances at Daniel from afar, watching him work in the woodshop, his sweat-soaked shirt revealing a toned physique, or seeing him read under the golden lamplight, his pensive face exuding an irresistible allure. One afternoon, Maya stood silently outside Daniel's room, secretly observing him as he slept. Sunlight filtered through the curtains, highlighting his chiseled features and robust frame, his steady breath stirring an intense urge within her. Her heart pounded, and her feet moved her inside without conscious thought. In the hushed room, Maya drew closer, her breathing quickening. Daniel stirred awake, his eyes meeting hers with fleeting surprise before softening, as if sensing something unspoken. Unable to resist, Maya leaned in, and a gentle, hesitant kiss unfolded. As if they were swept into an unstoppable current, the moment was both sweet and forbidden. In the quiet room, their kiss quickly intensified, a blazing fire impossible to extinguish. Their breaths intertwined, and Maya felt Daniel's strong hands grip her waist, pulling her against his warm body. She trembled as his lips trailed to her neck, each kiss igniting her skin. Maya responded, her hands threading through his hair, gliding down his back, feeling the taut muscles beneath her fingertips. The world around them dissolved, leaving only the sound of racing heartbeats and the collision of their bodies. Daniel lifted Maya's chin, his gaze ablaze, guiding her into a fervent dance where all boundaries vanished. They surrendered to a passionate, forbidden embrace, letting desire lead the way. Maya's hand, almost instinctively, brushed against Daniel's swollen arousal, its size startling her. Hesitant yet driven by desire, she slid her fingers down, exploring its contours before slowly bringing it to her lips, teasing gently. Daniel let out a soft moan, his breath hitching. Maya continued for a few minutes, her own longing overwhelming her. Unable to resist, she positioned herself over Daniel, guiding him inside her with deliberate care. For the first time, Maya felt a profound fullness, the sensation of his size overwhelming yet exhilarating. She hadn't anticipated how intensely it would consume her. Moving rhythmically, Maya's body swayed in a slow, deliberate dance. Within 2 minutes, the intensity built to a breaking point, her control slipping. Her breaths grew ragged. "Daniel, I'm close," she gasped. "Maya, me too," Daniel whispered, his voice strained with urgency. Maya clung to him tightly, feeling a rush within her as their bodies synchronized in release. In that fleeting moment, they shared a fierce, passionate kiss, their connection deepening beyond the physical. The world outside ceased to exist, leaving only the raw intimacy of their forbidden union, binding them in a moment of reckless surrender. After the intense kiss, Maya and Daniel remained immersed in the afterglow of their forbidden connection. Her body trembled slightly, her breathing still uneven. But the warmth from Daniel made her reluctant to pull away. He held her close, his hand gently stroking her back, as if soothing the torrent of conflicting emotions swirling within them both. Maya looked up at Daniel, his eyes both tender and burdened, as though he, too, was wrestling with himself. "Maya, we've gone too far," Daniel whispered, his voice low but laced with remorse. Maya nodded, aware that this moment wasn't just a surrender to passion but a turning point with no way back. Guilt crept in, yet the closeness with Daniel was so powerful she couldn't deny it. They lay there in silence, their heartbeats merging in the quiet. Suddenly, the chirping of birds outside the window snapped them back to reality. Maya knew this moment, however intense, would lead to difficult choices. "What do we do now, Daniel?" she asked, her voice trembling. Daniel tightened his grip on her hand, his gaze resolute. "We'll face it, Maya. Together." Amid the uncertainty, they found a fragile unity, ready to move forward despite the thorny path ahead. As Maya and Daniel were lost in their intimate moment, the sudden creak of the front door shattered the silence. Sophia, Daniel's wife, returned earlier than expected, her steady footsteps ascending the stairs. Panic surged through Maya, and she quickly pulled away from Daniel, her heart pounding as the sound of Sophia's approach grew closer. The bedroom door opened slightly, and Sophia appeared in the doorway, her gaze shifting from Daniel, seated on the bed, to Maya, standing frozen with a pale face. The air grew heavy. Yet instead of an outburst of anger, Sophia's brow furrowed slightly, her eyes reflecting a profound sadness. Sophia stepped inside, closing the door behind her, her voice calm but faintly trembling. "Maya, Daniel, what's going on?" There was no accusation, only a gentle but piercing question. Maya stammered, unable to find words to explain, while Daniel bowed his head, rubbing his neck in discomfort. Sophia studied them, as if reading the truth in their eyes. Rather than condemning them, she sighed and sat in a nearby chair. "There are things more complicated than you realize," she said, her tone soft yet weighted, hinting at a deeper, unspoken secret. "But we must face it, not hide." Sophia's words were like a cold breeze, snapping Maya out of her emotional turmoil. There was no rage, only a painful understanding in Sophia's eyes, making Maya feel both guilty and strangely comforted. She realized Sophia wasn't casting them out but offering a fragile lifeline for all three to find a resolution. In that moment, the room fell silent, but Sophia's gentle advice planted a seed of hope amidst the delicate balance of mistake and truth. After their intimate moment, Maya and Daniel were torn by conflicting emotions. Guilt sliced through Maya's mind like a sharp blade as she thought of Sophia and the fractured family bonds. She questioned how she could have let things go so far, Yet whenever Daniel's gaze met hers, the powerful connection between them surged, undeniable. Daniel, his face etched with contemplation, wrestled with his own remorse. He knew he had crossed a line, but the closeness with Maya burned like an unquenchable ember. They sat in silence, the air heavy with tangled thoughts. Maya felt her heart constrict, torn between a longing to be near Daniel and dread of the consequences. Daniel took her hand, his fingers trembling slightly, as if seeking an anchor in the storm of emotions. "We can't pretend nothing happened," he whispered, his voice low and hoarse. Maya nodded, knowing avoidance would only worsen things. They realized they had to face the truth, however painful. Their connection wasn't just a fleeting impulse but something deeper, both terrifying and magnetic. Maya looked into Daniel's eyes, seeing sincerity mingled with pain, and understood they needed to be honest about their feelings. Though the future was uncertain, they agreed they could no longer sidestep the issue. They had to voice the emotions weighing on their hearts, even if it led them down unforeseen paths. In the heavy atmosphere following Sophia's arrival, her gentle words shone like a faint light in the darkness. Rather than anger, Sophia offered a fragile opportunity for Maya and Daniel to confront the truth. She didn't condemn them but encouraged them to face their complex emotions head-on, sparking a glimmer of hope for understanding and resolution. Her advice, though soft, served as a reminder that they could no longer evade what had happened. Maya and Daniel sat together, the space between them charged with unspoken feelings. Maya's heart was a tangle of confusion, yet she recognized honesty as the only path forward. "We need to talk, Daniel," she whispered, her voice trembling but resolute. Daniel nodded, his eyes reflecting a mix of seriousness and unease. "I know, Maya. I don't want to pretend nothing's happened. We have to understand what this means," he replied, his hand gently squeezing hers. They agreed to have an open conversation, despite the foggy future ahead. They had no clear answers, no certainty about where their powerful connection would lead, but they refused to run anymore. Maya felt a fragile sense of relief in agreeing to face their true emotions, even if it meant pain. Daniel, his expression pensive, committed to finding a way forward together, however thorny the path. In that moment, amid the uncertainty, they found a spark of hope, not to erase their mistakes, but to explore the meaning of what had transpired and, perhaps, find a way to heal. The story of Maya and Daniel is an emotional journey that delves deeply into the complexities of family relationships and the forbidden, hard-to-explain emotions that arise. It lays bare the inner turmoil between familial bonds and feelings that cross boundaries, as Maya and Daniel confront their powerful yet wrongful connection. The central message hinges on the necessity of honesty, not only with others but also with oneself. Though facing the truth can be painful and challenging, the story emphasizes that avoidance only deepens wounds, while candor opens pathways to understanding and healing. The story's conclusion offers no clear resolution, leaving unanswered questions lingering. Sophia's calm and empathetic response provides a fragile glimmer of hope, yet it doesn't dispel the uncertainty. Maya and Daniel stand at a crossroads, aware they must face their emotions, but uncertain of what lies ahead. Can they find forgiveness, or will their connection remain a painful secret? The narrative doesn't promise a tidy ending but instead celebrates the courage to acknowledge complex emotions and embark on a quest for truth. Through this, it invites listeners to reflect on the fragile boundaries in relationships and the power of honesty in confronting the most difficult truths. Though the future remains hazy, the faint hope of healing and understanding persists, serving as a reminder that sometimes, the journey matters more than the destination.